Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony here with you here today, re-educating yourself on how to react when faced with an emotional abuser, a physical abuser, a narcissist, or a psychopathic person. Oftentimes we're caught in habitual relationship patterns with these people. We act instinctively, or we've been trained to act in a specific way around them. Perhaps always saying yes. Perhaps always doing things for them, always making their dinner, always texting them at a specific time, always putting them first, always putting ourselves last, never allowing ourselves to have an equal footing with them, always walking a step or two behind, always kind of shrinking in their presence, always feeling a sense of fear or anxiety in life because of the guilt, a crippling emotion, which we have allowed or has been ingrained into the target. And realize that these people really do target people. I just want to make a quick tirade, or not a tirade, a quick tangent on how the narcissist and psychopath work in terms of how they either idealize people or scapegoat. And they can often do this within the same group or within the same family or within different relationships. One, they might idealize someone who reflects the more positive qualities of them. They might give them special treatment, special favors, special rewards. And then another person who they feel, it could be in the same family or in the same office or in the same vicinity, that they'll treat as a scapegoat. For no apparent reason. They're to blame for everything. They're to be criticized for everything. They are constantly held as responsible for provoking other people and causing fights when they did nothing of the sort. And so realize that these people are assigning roles to you in your life that really don't belong to you. And so chances are, if you found yourself over obligated, which means, you're constantly, they're the center of your life rather than you being the center of your life, it's time to reevaluate and learn how to retrain yourself to communicate with these types of people, but also it's how to retrain yourself to communicate with yourself. Now, over obligation means we're overly committed to taking care of another person to the sacrifice and detriment of ourselves. Counterintuitive, however, it's the role a lot of people in life have found themselves in. They're, constantly, feeling a pressure. They're feeling a pressure to perform. They have certain expectations of them. Now, I grew up in a very affluent area, upper 1% of society. People with mansions, your A-type people, type A personalities, people who were great achievers, created great feats of work in business, etc. And you can believe it. It's a very demanding area to be in. A lot of pressure, a lot of very high expectations. You can never jump high enough. You can never be good enough. You can never satisfy these people. So eventually, it becomes a real source of a lot of people become very self-annihilated. If you never feel like you've attained something, you never really feel like you've made it. You can't live in the present. You can't live in a sort of mindfulness situation. So you need to come to more of a present sort of feeling within yourself, not living so far in the future, not living in the past, but trying to find that mindfulness place in the present. And if you haven't studied that, I would definitely recommend studying mindfulness. The mindfulness is, Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. I have not read that book, but I've had very many people who recommend it. But I do definitely have studied quite a bit of the Buddhist and the Eastern works, and do understand the concept of now, which is the present, which means, you're not living in the past, which a lot of people, who are first learning this, how do you not do that, right? And, not to live in the future, and a lot of people say, well, how do you not do that? Living in the past is being stuck. It's like you're still connected to a lot of that maladaptive treatment, and you're still hanging on to that identity of the abused person. That's not an effective way to live. It can be very difficult because you're constantly connected to a very crippled personality, and it's not serving you in your present. So you need to really detach from that and become a new person and create kind of a new identity. We're going to get more into that in other videos, but real quick here also, you know, how not to live too far in the future. In other words, how do I not live in, you know, only existing upon my goals being satisfied? Constantly working towards something which is elusive. You know, it's just, the goals are too big. You know, I'll only, you know, I'll be happy when I get that big house, and then that big house might never come. So it's like living in the future too much, like living, you know, constantly thinking about the future and not really just living in the present. So this living in the present can definitely come with practice and experience, and I can also provide some tools to you on how to do that here in this channel. But how to retrain yourself to communicate with a narcissist. For one, it comes with being able to change it up and live in the present. In other words, you know, and not verbally saying this to them, but, you know, I am no longer that abused person. I am no longer the person who you just pull the strings for and then I come a-running. I am no longer this person who is going to receive these sorts of criticisms, belittlement, and changing my life and stop living basically for you. The manipulators will try this, and they'll also use a lot of unconscious, subconscious techniques to make you feel this way, and a lot of it has to do with an energetic way that they just are. So how do you recommunicate if you have to? How do you retrain yourself to communicate with them and communicate with yourself? For one, learn that the power of your words has an emotional impact in your body, and learn to stop saying so many reactive things to this manipulative person. This is also along the lines of no contact, where you're not responding, where you're removing yourself from that situation, using some more systematic tools, cut and paste, etc., moderators, mediators, if you're involved in a legal situation with them. But learning that you don't have to respond, okay? You do not have to over-obligate yourself. You do not have to fall, you know, and become a prey of theirs. And in terms of recommunicating, you need to identify that a lot of the stuff that they're saying is just meant to get you a fear reaction and to live in that fear state. So begin to redirect your communication towards more balanced and content things, taking stock of what you have, speaking more of the I am statement, and learning to not use such harsh words that maybe that they have put into your vocabulary. Because if you've been around a narcissist or a psychopath for some time, you, through entrainment, just through being around them, you've gotten into kind of a mindset where you're using a lot of their same communication styles and words, and you need to slowly begin to eradicate that from your own language and live in speaking more peaceful terms, more content terms, or even just being silent can be very powerful. As they say, silence is golden. So learn to adapt your communication style in some of these ways, and I think it'll be very effective and productive for you. Peace and harmony here with you here today. I hope these videos help. Please share and subscribe for more great tools, videos, and discussion. Make it a beautiful day.